finish first, I will continue.
Oh,
And everybody looked at him, and everybody turned the phone off. So the phone.
It takes one.
I take one. Finish. I will finish first.
Yeah, and we'll finish the
And
khutbah.
then I continue the khutbah.
SubhanAllah.
And then after the brother, you promise. Why do you do that? Because you pray after salah, you pray dhuhr first, because your salah is not accepted.
Yeah.
Your salah
Absolutely.
is not accepted. Pray dhuhr after that. I teach you after that.
And it wasn't a kid; it was a
An adult. But unfortunately, barely to see youth, kids inside the Jum'ah. And then after that, the parents complain, wow, my kids in Salah. That's our topic.
Yeah, that's our topic.
But brother, this is really become like a disease.
Yeah.
About the phone, with adults and the kids is worse.
Yeah.
Plus, when I was teaching university, when we finished the class, everybody, no exception, held on the phone.
Yeah.
Everybody with no exception.
Yeah.
And I said, go to another class. No, phone first, finish the phone, and then go to the class.
Yeah.
But what do you think at first? That disease? I believe this is disease.
It's a disease of addiction, right?
Addiction.
We're addicted to instant gratification. We need to know what's happening now. Like everything, like there's a need for now. We have to know now. We have to know what's going on. We have to like now. Everybody needs to like feel. They feel like we have to answer the phone. We have to look at the social media. We have to look at the pictures now because we don't want to miss anything. We're afraid of missing stuff.
Listen, what?
I don't know. I don't know the reason.
FOMO.
It's very like weird how people, even the adults, even though you talk about the guy who answered the phone. When I go to the masjids, because I go to different masjids every Friday, I go to different masjids wherever city I'm working in. For my job, I'm going to go to that masjid, and I'll go to different masjids, big masjids, with all these older men. And I look down where the khutbah is going off, and I see a brother scrolling on his phone or text messaging during the khutbah. And you can't say anything because you're not allowed to speak in the khutbah. But I'm amazed at these guys. I don't care, they're not just Arabs or Pakistan. Everybody's listening.
Not everybody in the Jum'ah, because the key, brother, in the Imam also, how the khutbah al-Jum'ah, interested for the people, excited for the people, or just the same system, all the same, the same.
Yeah, you can't be boring. I feel bad. I always go after the imams. I feel a little guilty because we always go after the imams. And I get it. Being imam is tough because now you have the younger generation. Yeah, you have to keep them engaged and keep them excited and keep. So if you're an old school imam and you're still doing the old school ways, it's not going to work for the younger generation. They're not going to get it. They're not going to be interested in it. And alhamdulillah, I'm lucky I get to go to different masjids and see, okay, this imam is pretty good. Well, this imam is pretty weak. Like I'll be able to see these things, but a lot of the youth, they only go to that one masjid. They go to the same masjid all the time. And as an imam, if you're not watching your congregation, right? Everybody, like you're on top of the member. So you're basically looking down at everybody else and you're talking to everybody else.
Yeah.
You should be able to see what your people are doing.
Well, the deficit.
Yeah. So if you see a brother who's on the wall sleeping, or if you see another brother in the middle on his phone, make a little comment, make a little mention of it. Say, hey, just in case you forgot.
Yeah. But as the brother also, me myself, since the war started, almost like 18 months, even in Tahajjud, at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I have a look at the Jazeera channel.
Yeah.
What's going on? And people call me, my case also, I become addicted to the phone and me myself because the news.
You want to see what's happening.
My family. But how to fix myself, and not the people. How to fix myself?
Well, it's not just you. It's a lot of us, right? A lot of us are wanting to know what's going on because everything changes by the second, right? Every second something's different. Everything's something new. This happened. We also have to remember that we can't do anything from this side of the world.
No,
right? We can only do so much. Making dua, donating, whatever we can try to do. We try to do. I know just for my own sanity, I talk a lot about what's going on to different people, different organizations. People ask me questions. Where are you from? What? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're from there. Oh, can we ask you a couple of questions? And so you discuss things in in a nice positive way. Not, you're not yelling or screaming or getting angry, or, there's ways of making yourself feel better here, because there's only so much you can do on this side of the world, right? And watching it consistently, seeing what's going on consistently, it's different for you because you have family there, you have parents there, you have, you have a lot of family members over there. But for us and you as well, I always say, like, you have to just drop the phone sometimes. You have to take a step back and worry about what's going on in your life right now, right here. What can you control? Right? You can't control what's happening over there. So there's no real reason to keep monitoring and watching, because what's that going to do for you? What's that been doing to you?
How am I feeling all the time? Every time I'm looking, I become more sad.
You're going
Sometimes
down.
I'm crying.
Yeah, you start to go down in your levels of happiness, of enjoyment, right? And you're not supposed to live like that. You should know more than anybody else the hadiths and the Islam.
And I understand, but wallahi, with my situation could maybe different because my family there, my 107 of my family got killed over there. My nieces, my nephews, even their house destroyed. Yeah, my situation may be different, but the other people here in America, for example, the Muslims in America, like become like this kind of addiction, drugs. With last time with this
the vaping,
the vaping.
So when we talk about addiction, we talk about all that. We talk about the drugs, we talk about the vaping, we talk about the alcohol. We always talk about the internet addiction, how people are addicted to online. Online. I mean, I was in a school last week talking to elementary school kids, talking about, and the parents asking me questions about, how do I get my kid offline? How do I get my kid to turn off the tablet, to turn off? I said, well, the problem with that is if you take the tablet or the phone away from your kid, then you have to fill in that gap. What are you going to do to fill in that gap of space of time that you would let your kid use that tablet, use that phone, play those video games? Right? Because now it's not like how it was back in our days where we would go outside and play, and khalas, like after the sun goes down, you have to go back home. Now it's you have to fill that time up, right? You have to figure it out. So there's like for example, like I'll play basketball or I'll go do something else with my kids.
Hold on. I also think about the age.
The age groups are all different, of course. And so if you got a kid that's 4 or 5 years old, you can start them young, train them young to get away from that kind of stuff. Right? If you have a kid now who's 11, 12, 13, you take a phone away or a tablet away from a kid or tell them stop playing video games at the age of 14, 15, and you've been letting them do that since 4 years old because you wanted to relax and you wanted to, hey, play on your tablet, leave me alone, give me a couple hours to myself, take your tablet, take your phone. I've seen that happen a lot, where parents would say, just take the phone, take the tablet, let me relax. I had a hard day at work or I was studying or whatever the case may be. But as a parent, we can't do that anymore. Right? We have to understand that the moment you start to give the okay for your kid to play on your phone, play on the tablet, play on the video game, so you can relax.
A lot of moms do that.
A lot of moms, dads do that too. I mean, don't get me wrong. We can't say just the moms. Dads do that too. We get tired. We work. We have to, drive everywhere. Driving's terrible. I always talk about how driving is more stressful than work sometimes.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
Especially today.
Especially down here today, everybody's driving crazy. So I get it, I understand it, but if you're gonna do that, you have to fill the time for your kids, and you got to do it with your kids. You can't just say, take a football and go play by yourself, or go take a basketball and go play basketball by yourself, or go do something. No, you have to find now a way to compensate for that 1 hour or 2 hours that your kid would always play. What are you gonna do now? How are you gonna change the narrative of what your kids are doing?
The key, the kids is amana, trust. I got married. Why? To have kids,
of course.
To have, yes, a lot of people are pleasure. Yes, we have kids,
of course.
But these kids, actually, Allah will ask me about my kids.
What did you do with your kids?
Yeah, that's why we give advice.
We give advice,
especially some people. Actually, the kids alone, separated with the mom, divorce, for example. But it's still the father or the mom, whoever away, you have to give advice because you cannot fix it. Because adults.
But we also say, okay, so I always hear it, and I say it too, even to my own kids sometimes. I'm the dad. I've already finished my schooling. I already got my degrees. I could do what I want to do now. You are the kid. You still have to go to school. You still have to do what I already did. Right? We say that all the time to our own kids. I don't know if anybody else here says that, but I know I've said that. I've heard other parents say that. And it's true. Yes, we did. We did the grinding. We did all the hard work. We did everything so our kids can have what they have today, right? We want to always, and I always hear parents say, I don't want to, have my kids miss out on stuff. I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. Well, what you went through made you stronger. What's wrong with what you went through? Right? I always ask parents that, especially the younger parents who give their kids. I mean, how many times have you seen these kids who are, I don't know, 16, 17, 18 years old driving the most expensive cars?
Yes.
Right. And you say to yourself, well, how are they going to learn to appreciate what they have if you don't start them at a level, right? Give them the little car, give them the one that might, that has little problems here and there. Let them see, let them feel what it's like.
In fact, you're right. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the MSA students, freshmen and last year. And as well the cars, brand new cars.
Yeah.
And not the word Tesla and this and Volkswagen and Mercedes. And I mean, they have, but what I saw yesterday, honestly, they pray. They are always connected as a Muslims, mashallah. Yesterday, the best Muslim students in America, I saw yesterday.
Mashallah.
Not all of them actually, but what I saw yesterday, no exception.
Yeah, mashallah.
Yeah, may Allah bless all of them and all the Muslims in America and all the world. But also, this kind of, sometimes the parents struggle with that.
Yeah,
we need,
of course.
In this few minutes inside together, we need a solution for our boys, our girls, our family, our kids here, to be away, to be away from that. I know some families, they told me actually, they are eating together and everybody, include the parents, with the cell phone.
Yeah. So how do you expect to tell your kids or advise your kids and then you're doing it yourself?
I mean, number one, change your habit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change yourself to change the others.
And I always notice that it's very hard for us as adults to change our ways. Very hard because adults, yeah. Very even for myself, it's you start to notice different things. I'll notice my kid saying something. Oh my God, how's he saying that? Or how is he talking like that? Well, he probably heard me say that.
Yeah, sometimes the adults, my way or the highway.
Yeah, and that's how it was when we were growing up. Yeah. Right, like you had the kettle, the beating. I say kettle because I remember those words.
Yeah,
the belts and stuff like this. The kettle. Remember these?
My son doesn't know what kettle is.
No, they're spoiled. These guys, they don't know what kettle is. But we have those times back in the days, but now you can't do that as much as we had it back in those days. But they mimic you, they watch you, they see you. So if you're gonna sit there on the couch or on the dining room table eating dinner, scrolling, and then you're gonna go look at your son and say, "Hey, turn off your phone." How is that gonna work?
But I believe the father do that more than the mom.
Yeah.
Why? Because the mom normally she cook, she do this. Okay. For example, when I eat here, sometimes I watch Jazeera channel, it's news. And wife, she said, Ibrahim, we eat together. I take it away immediately. Yes, we're gonna conversation.
Because you're addicted
to the news.
To the news.
News.
But that's the thing. That's
not addicting actually, because I know the situation bad.
Yeah.
Mine different than others.
Yeah, but you're different than others, but you also have to understand that again. What's it doing for you?
I see nothing.
Nothing.
Because I cannot do it. In fact, it's more anger.
It's okay, and that applies to you for what's going on overseas. Imagine now we're talking about everybody else with social media in general. What's that doing for them? The scrolling.
I believe nothing.
And when you look at when I try to explain to the kids at the school yesterday, last week, and the parents, because I had the parents with me, and I said, think of the names of the apps that your guys' kids are looking at.
Oh,
look at the names, just the name itself. TikTok is all about TikTok, time, the clock sound, the sound of the clock going. You're just wasting your time. Facebook, they want your face stuck on that book. They want your face to be constantly scrolling.
I use it as a khutbah Jum'ah, hadith, and advice for the people normally. And when I do any social media, not for fun.
It's
not everyone.
No, social media has so many benefits. There's so many benefits to social media,
and some positive and negative.
Yeah, everything has positive and negatives. And when I talk about addiction, I always talk about moderation.
Oh,
right? There's a certain way, like
moderation.
for me, like my job is all about online safety, internet safety, online awareness. So I have to constantly look at the stuff. I have to constantly read the stuff. Today I was looking at the different things of the permissions of the apps. When you download the app, the permissions you give for that app to have on your phone. And so when I go into my conversation next week with the teenagers, when I go into the older kids, I can explain to them what is happening on their phone when they download those apps.
Yes.
Right. So like one example is like the vacuum cleaner. Right. There's a vacuum cleaner that runs on a robot that goes in your house. And I looked at the permissions that it requires, and I said, why does it need my camera on my phone? Why does it need to look at my contact list? Why does it need the pictures on my phone? It's a vacuum cleaner. Why does it need all this stuff? When I looked at these permissions, and so it makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes of that simple vacuum cleaner app, right? So that's why I do it. That's my job. It's my profession. I've put that on myself. If you don't have that kind of job, you don't have that kind of profession, then why are you scrolling constantly through? What are you looking through? When I ask the parents all the time, look at your kids' For You pages, right? When they're scrolling, what is on there?
Okay, but what about adults?
Oh,
they refuse.
Yeah, we'll look at the adults' For You pages.
I believe adults they refuse to show the parents about the apps.
I went and I made a comment in my talk the other day, just a joke when I was talking to the parents and their kids. I said, "Who wants to give me their phone so I can open up their For You page?" Nobody said anything. Nobody put their hands up. Let me see your For You page. Who has the courage? I said, as a joke, and nobody wanted me to show. Wanted me to say it because again, it's if you're that ashamed of showing me your For You page, what are you looking at? I'll show you mine. It's probably mostly it's mostly like Islamic stuff. What's going on overseas? It's stuff that the algorithm knows that I'm watching.
Oh.
And so the way I explain it to everybody is when you're scrolling through these social media, these little social media websites and these apps, it's constantly monitoring what you're watching.
Actually, you're right. I just noticed myself.
Mm-hmm.
I say somebody doing karate, and I say I like, and sometimes another fight. Yeah. I really like because I like the fight, and suddenly boom 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 karate.
All karate. And it's amazing because now you don't even have to like anymore, right? You used to have to like just look because the camera. Remember, we have the front cameras on our phone, so the camera's already turned on, watching your eyes.
Oh my Allah!
So when you are just watching a video for more than 3 or 4 seconds,
hold on, it's very important. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Repeat this again.
So there's a reason why
here to the people.
Yeah. So there's a reason why they need permission for your microphone and for your cameras. All right, and it's not just when you're taking a picture and posting it. It's so they can constantly monitor your eye movements to see if you're watching something.
And that coming in my phone.
It's constantly watching, and a lot of people don't realize that when you're watching videos or when you're watching movies or when you're watching something on there, the camera's constantly on. They can turn that on anytime they want to and take videos and do whatever they want, and then they sell that stuff to the dark web, to the other side of Google.
What?
Right? And it's we call it the dark web, or we call it whatever you want to call it. But they take those videos, they take those pictures or whatever they want to take of people who are watching things constantly, and they put them on certain websites and certain whatever they want, and then you can just pay for it. There's a reason. Think about why these apps are free. Why is TikTok free? Why is YouTube free? Why these things are free?
Why?
Because they're your data is what's worth more money than cash. If they charge you $5.99 a month or $6.99 a month, they wouldn't be able to collect all that data. And now your information, your name, your date of birth, your pictures, your voices, your contact lists, anybody's emails that you have. I mean, I'll ask people, read the user terms and agreements when you download these apps. Even when you already have them downloaded, you can go onto the app and you can look at the permissions that you gave in that app of what it can get. It can get your email contacts. It can get your phone contacts. It can look at your pictures. It can edit your picture. They can take your pictures and edit them out, and edit them and change them and do what they want to do with them.
You scare us, brother. It's scary. Yeah.
It's scary, but it's also you have to be aware, because at the end of the day, you can't download those apps unless you give them the permission. right? They won't let you download.
How do you give a permission?
When you download the app, when you download the app, it says, "Do you agree to use your terms and agreements? Please check the box." You check the box. Everybody does that. Who here has ever read the user terms and agreements when they download the apps? Barely anybody does. And I've made it like my own personal mission, maybe because I have kids of my own, and I want to learn these things. I want to see what's going on. So I explain to my own kids. I explain to these schools. When I talk to the deputies and the officers, and I explain to them what's going on. Muhammad, I didn't know any of this stuff. Nobody knows these things.
Yes, I don't know.
Because we just download. Oh, everybody has it. Everybody has TikTok. Let's download it. Everybody has Snapchat. Let's download it. And what happens is that as you're scrolling through, and whatever you like, whatever makes your like it's like doing crack or cocaine. It makes you happy, it makes you excited, it makes you whatever. The same things, endorphins start passing through your brain, and it's happy. You're constantly looking. You're pleasurable. You're having a good time. You feel good while you're doing this.
That means when I do this in my phone, some other people watching everything I do.
Of course, constantly. And people think law enforcement is what we're not watching. Law enforcement doesn't watch. We don't have the capabilities to watch everybody's phone. It's not us. It's not law enforcement. It's not FBI. It's most likely like Google. It's Microsoft. It's the people who are selling all your data to other third-party people, to places like Walgreens, CVS, Publix, whatever they want. Oh, this guy is looking up at apples. Let's sell that data to Publix because they sell apples over there. Think about it when you're talking about something to your wife or to your son, and then 5 minutes later you look at your phone and what you guys were just talking about pops up on your phone. How many times has that happened to people out here when you're talking about something and then all of a sudden you look at your phone and you see an advertisement for maybe you guys are talking about pickles and how much you like pickles. Then you turn on your phone and a pickle advertisement comes up on your phone. There's a reason for that. They're listening, they're hearing. And it amazes me.
Listening and hearing?
Yeah, everything on your phone. Everything you say, everything you hear, everything. Think about, and this is something I want people to look to Google. Google pictures of like people like Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos with their phones. You'll see they constantly have covers on their phones, on their cameras, and on their speakers, because they don't want anybody hearing. They don't want anybody listening to what they're doing, because they're the ones who know what's going on.
So that means that when I sleep, for example, my phone away from me, not next to me. I'm safe.
No, the phone knows you're sleeping. Think about your watch. Do you wear your watch to sleep?
Yes.
And it monitors your sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. It knows you're sleeping. It knows you're.
It knows everything. But this one actually for the heart. This is for the heart, my sleeping, and my exercise.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing it for a specific reason.
Yes.
Right. That's your reasoning.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they still have all that data. They still have access to all that data. So yes, it's good. Yes, you're using it for yourself. You're keeping yourself healthy. You're keeping yourself monitored. But behind the scenes, there's more of a negative thing going on behind the scenes with your stuff.
The solution.
The solution is simple. It's minimize the usage and minimize the posts. And the biggest thing now that we're having a problem with, and this is something that the elementary school parents were talking to me about after we were done, is my kid is addicted to likes. They want people to like their videos. Like. We've had this thing where like a like is like money. It's like validation, where our kids need to feel like people are watching them and like their stuff, and we gotta show our kids that, that doesn't matter what the people like or don't like. That's not what we're here for. Like us Muslims, we're not here for that.
Yeah.
How many times have we said in these lectures and these conversations that we're built different?
Yes.
Right. We're not built for this life. We're not built for the people to like us. We're built to make sure that Allah likes us. What are we doing? What are we saying? What are we talking about? Right? Like how are you conversing with one another? That's what you're supposed to be worried about, not the millions of people watching your video on YouTube and on Instagram and wanting to like your videos.
Yeah, Allah.
That's where we have to kind of get on our children and ourselves. Even I've seen how many married couples now, Muslim married couples you see on social media.
A lot.
Hijabi women and men.
Mostly this kind of people, they have a problem in the house.
They have, and that's the thing I don't think people realize, because when you're pushing your life out there and you're videotaping your wife, you're videotaping your husband, and you're bragging and you're showing off and you're saying, look at my husband bought me this, and look at my wife, how beautiful she is. You're posting all your family life on social media for people to like your videos. You don't think you're gonna have people don't read I read the comments, or I like to read the comments of what people are saying. And some of the comments that are on there from Muslims, I mean, the accounts look Muslim. I don't know if they are Muslims, but the stuff that they say, oh my God, mashallah, your wife is so pretty. You know, if she wants a second husband, you know, stuff that you hear you see these comments coming. As a husband,
Yes.
I would say to myself that's disgusting.
Yes.
As a father, do you want your daughter out there videotaping herself like this? Or as a father, do you know if your daughter's doing that?
Unfortunately, some daughters doing that. Unfortunately, that's very sad, and the father cannot even control that. Even the parents can't control that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and there's and that's the thing that you started. You okayed that from the beginning, right? If you didn't stop at 4, 5, 6 years old, by the time they get 13, 16, 17, 18, how are you going to stop this? That's why when you talk to the youth, when I talk to the 18-year-olds and the 25-year-olds, that's when I kind of explain to them why we don't do this as Muslims. Let's talk about hasad. Let's talk about the evil eye. Let's talk about these kinds of stuff.
Yes, hasad, brother and sister, wallahi, that mentioned that in the Quran, ayah number 155.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be careful to show ourselves in the social media. You get hasad, envy, easy. That shaitan, his job, and a lot of divorce. Believe me, I mean, a lot of divorce, a lot destroy the houses when you bring the hasad, the envy to that. You bring the envy to your own self, not from the people.
Yeah.
But so you have to be careful.
You have to be careful, and you also have to understand too. If you're watching these videos, if you're watching these married couples online, just understand that they're not that happy, right? They make it look happy for the 30-second video, the 2-minute video, and a lot of women say things like, you know, that woman has a brand new car. Why can't my husband do this? Or look how her husband treats her like this. Why can't my husband be like this? Then you have husbands who say, why can't my wife look like this? Or why can't my wife dress like this?
When actually Arab husband and wife have a child, a daughter that only 1 year, they make a video for her, and she died. No reason she died. I said somebody envy her.
Yeah.
The parents killed the baby.
Yeah.
She's 1 year.
Then Allah knows best on how people and what happens with people. But even for like when Facebook came out and I lived out of state, I would post my pictures of my kids just so my mom could see them, right? For my mother to view, to see. But once I started working and watching what's happening online, little by little, I started to learn and see. And now you have so many, like I started deleting my khalas. I turned it off. I turned it off a long time ago. I never post. I have all the apps. I do have all the apps. I just don't post. I never post. I never like. I never subscribe. I don't follow anybody.
Go back to like. Like what's called the bad. You know, for example, I like if I put all like. My wife, she told me, no, especially if the female don't do that. Yeah. Because they know that. I stopped to do that, alhamdulillah. But what is like exactly?
It's a two-way street. If you give that person a like, the more likes they get, the more views they're gonna get. They're gonna be on other people's feeds. So like if you like it and your wife likes it, he likes it, and I never see videos like that, but because so many people like it, the algorithm will say, hey, this is very popular. Look at this. Because all of it like this one, even though I don't even look at stuff like that, it'll come on my video feed because so many people liked it. And then that person will get paid more money or whatever they want to get from whatever app they're using. They get paid for that kind of stuff. It used to be also when you like something, they'll keep giving you that same videos, those same type of videos. You like a video of fighting, they're going to constantly show you videos of karate, of martial arts, stuff like this.
I watched a lot of martial arts. I like.
Yeah.
But I like it actually. Yeah. But when I say one, come again and again.
But you see now, don't like it. And I tell my kids to don't like things. Don't press the buttons. Don't like. Don't subscribe. Don't follow anybody. Because think about the words that they're using. Follow. Please follow me. The people are telling you, please follow me. We're not followers. Like we have to remember those little subtle words: followers, following, Facebook, TikTok, like these little words that they're throwing out, they mean something. Words really mean a lot of stuff.
But a lot of people also say that you're gonna speak. I want to do this. Please like what I say.
Yeah, of course.
They ask me to like.
Yeah. They want you to like. And I tell the kids all the time, especially with the teenagers, if you're gonna like something and you want to follow somebody who's gonna, give you knowledge, who's gonna educate you on something good, on something halal, on something positive, on something that's gonna benefit you in this life and the next. Right? You want to watch a Mufti Mink video, or you want to watch one of these, big imams, and you want to like these videos. That's fine. Those guys are doing da'wah. Those guys are doing something good. Follow those guys. Help them out.
But I never follow him actually.
Yeah, I don't follow anybody.
I never listen.
Yeah, but you look at the difference of how how addicting it is.
Yeah.
Quranic verses are very boring. Nobody wants to listen to that.
Yeah, I always do.
But you want to see a girl shaking and dancing? Of course, everybody wants to see that.
Yeah, you're right with that. But when I go to the gym, for example, today more than 1 hour in the gym, but Husari, I exercise, I recite with the Sheikh Husari. I recite, and the people looked at me, what? And sometimes with my wife, I recite Quran, I said, Brahim, your voice.
Yeah, lower there. Yeah. And, but that's a good thing, though. Because at the end of the day, if you're in a gym and you have videos, because it's happened to me before while I'm watching like an Islamic debate or something while I'm on the treadmill or I'm on.
Now my wife, she watches this lectures.
Or lectures. But I have it on low or have it. There's gonna be a guy. There's always some. Last time there was a guy watching and looking at my phone.
Oh yeah.
And what are you watching over there? And I'm okay. And then it creates a conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's different.
That's happened today actually. With Quran, when I relaxed like a few seconds of the Quran. So what is this, Arabic? I said, yeah, Arabic, Quran.
But you start a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want to say that because a lot of female there, I don't want to open the doors. Exercise and run away.
Go.
No, but normally I go to the gym with my wife, but today after Salah Dhuhr, I went alone. Yeah.
It's amazing too, because you'll see, like if you see when you go to the masjids and you see the guys who are on their phones, right, in the middle of a lecture, in the middle of a khutbah, you start to see, wow, this guy's that addicted to his phone.
Yes.
Where you can't even wait. How long was the khutbah? 20 minutes?
Some people, mine maximum 20 minutes.
20 minutes. 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
The sunnah, the khutbah is supposed to be short.
Short, yeah.
Some people.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. I've been to a masjid where it was like a 35-minute, 40-minute khutbah, and I'm like, come on, brother.
And more now, I went one before Allah subhanahu came back to Florida. When I went to Miami, khutbah al-Jum'ah, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Khutbah al-Jum'ah.
Wow.
And I know some people left.
Yeah.
They asked me, Sheikh Ibrahim, it's okay to say yes, no problem.
Yeah.
So this person, he thinks you follow the sunnah, he's not the sunnah.
No.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it a short, to the point, and salah even more.
Yeah.
The people make it the opposite now.
Yeah. They say that the two shortest surahs.
That's a really silly. That's a really.
It's we're backwards.
Yeah, unfortunately, and that imam think given da'wah.
Yeah.
But normally, a human being after like 30 minutes, I cannot catch anything.
Yeah, the attention is done. Khalas.
Yeah,
even in the classrooms.
Mine 20 minutes maximum, and salah, and assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, and
you came to my khutbah.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm saying. Like your khutbahs are nice, short, concise, and you say what you got to say. When you go to these khutbahs and as an imam and you're watching your people and you see these brothers on their phones,
don't blame them.
Don't blame them. If you're going to stay 40 minutes on the member talking for 40 minutes, come on. Our attention span is not as it used to be.
Yeah.
Right. We're not. Our attention span is very short. Kids, our attention span is short. Imagine the kids. Imagine the young teenagers. You think they can keep their attention for more than 20 minutes?
When I started to teach geology, through Athletic University, and every 15 minutes, I made the students stand up and down, stand up and down, and then we continue.
Yeah, you got to get them back in shape. Like
exactly. Yeah. That's suppose you're not.
Hard. And geology is very boring. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
It rocks.
I make it. Honestly, alhamdulillah, even though every year I was number one. All the plus. Why I make the kids, I mean the students actually live with the geology is our life. The land, the water, and the sky is our life.
Yeah.
So everything belongs to us.
But see what you did? You made it exciting.
Yes.
And so when you have 20 minutes, if you're not making it exciting, and I get it, you like I said before, the imams, they can only do so much. I understand, especially the old school imams. The people that are going there, the brothers that are on their phones. I don't know about the sisters. I don't go in the sisters thing. Maybe sisters are the same or different, or maybe inshallah better than the men. But if you're inshallah, I hope. But if you're a guy who is going to the masjid on a Friday for prayer, and in the middle of a khutbah, you're using your phone and you're scrolling or you're texting somebody, may Allah forgive you, man, because that's a problem. That's an addiction right there.
One brother, his name Khalid. It's Indian brother.
No, not named Khalid.
No. His ex, he gave me advice.
Okay.
After khutbah al-Jum'ah, wallahi, may Allah bless in this brother. He gave me advice, and I follow this advice. And he said to me, when he was on the board, he said, Sheikh Ibrahim, I love your khutbah, but I will never come to your khutbah anymore.
What?
So why? I love your khutbah, but I will never come to your khutbah anymore.
Lesh?
Why?
Why?
I said, Brother Ibrahim, you all hellfire. It's because of the Jannah, paradise.
He's scaring everybody.
So, oh my God. And that person, may Allah bless him, make complete my angles completely, be positive, and then speak about hellfire.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I want to speak again.
Yeah.
But one person make me complete my way for khutbah Jum'ah, that brother. May Allah bless him. So it's good, brother, to take advice. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, beautiful hadith. Listen to the hadith. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم الدين النصيحة. الدين, the religion is advice. That's who said that? Prophet Muhammad. So it's not Muhammad Ziyada.
No.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's good to give advice to each other.
Absolutely.
You know, for example, household. My wife give me advice. I get angry, give advice. But after step by step, and I get advice for her. It's good to get advice to each other.
Yeah, of course.
Because we follow the sunnah of Rasulullah.
Well, who's going to care about you the most? Who's going to care about you the most?
Actually, my wife, she cares about me more.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Allah bless her, inshallah.
Yeah.
But we always advise people on, we go to a restaurant and we advise the chef, your falafel was too salty, or, we'll say stuff like this to a person to let them fix something. We got to do the same things with the imams.
Yes.
Right? We have to advise them, hey, listen, brother, I'm bored. And the imams, you got to be able you got to be able to take it.
This is whoever imam in social media, please. This is very good advice. Again, brother, repeat again.
Even if you're not an imam, even board members,
if you have we advice for the imam.
Yeah, if a brother or a sister or somebody comes to you as an imam and says, this is a very boring topic, or the way you're presenting the topic is very boring, change it up. Look at how to engage your people, right? Not every community is the same, right? You have different communities, different problems, different issues. So look at your community as a whole, and you find out what the problems are that they want you to talk about, what they want you to address. Because a lot of times I know here we're afraid to talk about certain topics. I know the imams are afraid to talk about what's going on around the world, or what's happening here, or what's happening there, or the other political stuff that people are afraid to talk about. But it's not political. Don't make things political. Make things Islamic.
Yes.
Right. This is what
our job.
This is what the religion says. This is what the hadith says. Let me give you examples of what happened during the Prophet's time. Like, there's ways of engaging these youth and these parents and these people to not let them even want to pick up their phones when they're in the middle of a khutbah. But we can't control the people. But I'm pleased, I'm begging the brothers here, put your phones on silent. Put your phones in your pocket.
No, actually, it's supposed to be me, myself. If I go to the masjid, I leave my phone, wallahi, either in my shoes or in a car.
In the car, yeah.
In the car. Except Salat al-Jum'ah, because I record the khutbah.
Yeah.
Nothing else. But me, the masjid is for the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to respect that. Plus, now we go back to addiction. For this addiction now become like a lot of people have addiction. Not only that, I know one of the kids here in Florida, he put his mom, they take the phone from him like this, to do the homework.
Mm.
What he did, he took the plate when he cooked and he hit his mom to take the food. What to do with this kind of?
There's a big problem right now going on with these kids not being able to control their emotions, and they're not able to control their
number one.
Yeah, they're not taught to control their emotions, and they're
not taught.
They're not taught
How?
Because these are like learned behaviors, right? I've seen videos of kids doing that. Like parents will videotape what's going on with their kid, and they'll post it online, and other kids will watch this and see this. And see the other parent, okay, go ahead, you win. You know, you threw something at me. Go do what you want to do. No. There's a limit as a parent to what you can and what you could and couldn't take from your child, right? There, and don't think that you don't have a chance to discipline your child. You have a right to discipline your own child.
Yes, children is something and adult something else.
Yeah, but you can't get mad at the kid if you're doing the same thing.
Yes, agree.
Right? I mean,
agree.
That's just
start with yourself.
You can't be a hypocrite.
That's why to change the community, change yourself, change household to change the community. There is no way to change a community and you can't change yourself.
No, you can't. Okay, so here's the thing, and I've seen this in a lot of masajid, where there's a lot of issues within like board members or imams' houses, and they're trying to fix the community. Right, board members are trying to fix the community. They're trying to go on the member and talk and to give advice on how to deal with this, and deal with that. But then your own house is a mess. So who are you to give advice to people?
Yeah, agree with
in the community when you and then it's not this is why I say keep things in the house. Whatever happens in the house stays in the house. You can't go on the member and try to tell people how to be a good husband, or how to be a good wife, or how to be a good father, or how to be a good mother if you're not any of the above. When I was working with addiction, a lot of times also the people would always tell me, how do you know how to handle addiction if you've never been an addict before?
Again.
How do you, this is what the guys would tell me when I would work with them. How do you, somebody who's never been addicted to anything, are going to teach me about addiction? Right? And so I explained to them, there's other forms of addiction. I'm addicted to caffeine. I need my coffee. If I don't drink my coffee, I'll get headaches.
Really?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I used to drink 7-8 cups a day. Now I'm down to 2. Alhamdulillah. But it's
how many?
2. 1 in the morning, 1 at night.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And tahajjud, one, but
a big one.
Super coffee.
Yeah, super coffee.
And then sometimes it's daytime.
Yeah.
And that's it. Maximum one, but big one, and sometimes 2.
Yeah. And I said, they're right. How am I going to talk about addiction if I'm addicted?
But I'm not. I'm not addicted. Why? I went to Umrah. And Umrah was like 1 week. I have no coffee at all.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem.
Yeah.
Like the addiction, actually, sometimes, with all my respect, brother and sister, whoever lives, and I did coffee every day. But 1 week in Medina, actually, I don't have coffee. And then I told the brother, actually, tell your wife I need some coffee, and they gave me coffee every day. Coffee. But 1 week I have no headache, no nothing. A lot of people, I have headache. In fact, I want to sleep. I drink coffee. And the opposite the people.
Yeah. SubhanAllah.
But now addiction, yes.
Yeah.
Tell me your coffee.
Yeah.
Drugs, liquor, gambling.
Yeah.
But I believe Allah Alam, I'm gonna learn from you. Any addiction, you can train yourself to be away from that.
Of course. There's always relapses. There's always going back to it. I've known guys who stay clean for years. And then, they put themselves in one situation, or they get depressed, or they get sad, and then boom, they go right back to it, and they fall back down. Oh my gosh, I'm done. I can't believe I did this. They go into a depression mode. They go into anxiety mode. And then you talk to them and say, okay, it's all good. Everybody messes up. Nobody's perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect person. Right.
I know one person actually in Texas. He was addicted, and went to the hospital. And now he choose to go to rehab, but still he has this kind of anxiety and severe anxiety.
Yeah, you have to want to change, right? And in law enforcement, we force them to change.
But hold on, how this? I'm sorry with that. Have this anxiety to teach that he's an adult, he's married. How to teach him about the continuous anxiety?
I mean, everybody's different. You have to see where it's coming from. right?
Oh.
Where is it, like, why, like, what's the cause of that,
Oh.
right? Because at the end of the day, you can figure out by talking it out, like, just because a lot of times, especially for men, we don't talk, right? Men don't like to talk about their problems. We don't like to talk about our issues. We don't like to talk about our anxieties. We're men. We can't talk about that stuff. We have to just bottle it up and keep it inside, and then keep smiling and keep doing what we're doing. But we have to.
You're right.
If you complain, if you whine, what kind of man are you? Right. So sometimes a man needs to talk to somebody else, another guy or another person who doesn't have really any type of connection, who can be unbiased and say, look, this is the problem. Let's talk about what's going on with you. Unload with me. Empty everything out. Let me hear what you're saying. And then I can kind of pinpoint and see, oh, this is where it's coming from. Did you know that this is where your anxiety is coming from? I never thought about it, because you never talk about it. If you never talk about it, how are you going to know?
In fact, when the couple problem, husband and wife come, I sit with them. I said, my rules to fix the problem, the husband and wife, say, my rule, you speak and you speak and you just listen.
Yeah.
You can write if you want.
Take notes. Yeah.
And do not interrupt each other. Believe it or not, he listened. Sometimes, I said, we have rules.
Yeah.
We have rules, or I leave.
Yeah.
They accept it because they want you to be. And wallahi, brother Muhammad, most likely, they listen, he speak or she speak, or they speak with each other. They speak. The problem is solved.
Yeah, because they don't communicate.
They solve it, not me.
Yeah, because they talk.
The key, exactly.
Talking, and you have to explain.
Exactly.
You have to talk to each other. And say, I don't know how many times I've done couples counseling with Muslims, and I would have to tell the wife, like, wait, let him finish, and then I would have to tell him the same thing. Wait, hold on, hold on. Let's and don't and when you're listening, don't listen to talk back. Listen to see what's being said.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of times I'll tell the husband, don't. You're just answering. You're waiting to answer. Wait. Give it a couple of seconds. Really think about what that person just said, and then respond.
But that's caused anxiety if you're not listening.
If you're not listening.
Depression, a lot of depression, especially men because of more depression. Yes, your brother, open your heart, especially the couple. Allah said, mawaddatan wa rahma. Allah has love and passion and respect and honors.
That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. And you can, when you have all that stuff still there, trust, respect, you can still fix.
I think anxiety, depression, addiction, you can fix.
You can fix all that.
I can fix it myself.
Yeah, of course.
Not to go to the doctor. If I want to fix it.
If you listen, again, we're not doctors. You and me, we're not. Well, you're a doctor. But
I'm a doctor. No, I'm doctor in geology and Sharia.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling people what I've seen and what I've worked with for the last 20 plus years, and working in the field that I've been working in, and the therapy, the counseling, within families. Muslims, non-Muslims. I mean, we all have the same problems. Muslims and non-Muslims have the same exact problems, right? And addiction, it doesn't matter. Addiction doesn't care if you're Muslim, Jew, Christian. They don't care. It's gonna trap you either way.
Yeah.
Right. But if you look at why, how did you get to that point of being addicted to it that much, that long? Where did it start from? Right. So when I talk about social media, I always talk about the process of when I see parents at the age of 4 giving their kid a tablet so the parents can relax a little bit, or the age of when you go out to the masjid and you sit down and you see all like 10 or 15 kids playing in the playground, then you see 3 or 4 kids sitting on the floor in the grass.
Yes, I saw that.
We all see this, and so when as a parent and I'm bringing my kid to a masjid and I see all these kids playing, take the tablet away and say, hey, go slide down the slide a couple of times, go play on the monkey bars, Go do something. Don't just sit here. You can do this at the house.
That means become like a disease.
Yeah, it becomes a disease. It becomes a really and what ends up happening is that 4, 6, 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, it becomes a year worth of years of addiction. You've trained now that kid that this is where you're going to get your pleasure from.
And some people with addiction, by the way, with the music.
Oh, music is even one of the worst things out there because now even the videos that you're watching
Music.
have music videos.
Yeah, some kids actually, the music always music and music and
Mhm.
music and music, and that has become a disease.
It becomes
Of course, it's haram. 100%.
yeah, of course,
It's haram, but it become like a disease.
yeah, and you see that even some of the videos that there's people who will post movies like Marvel, Captain America movies, stuff like this. They'll post it on TikTok so you can watch the movie. They'll put music in the background of that movie, and just no reason, or maybe to get more money on the views or more whatever. But it's like there's music on everything that we do.
Yeah.
Everything that's on these videos, the majority of 95% of the videos when you're scrolling. And I challenge anybody on here, go through your social media and see how many times they've posted videos with music in the background.
Almost everything.
Even some of the Islamic stuff.
Except for Sunnahfollowers, no.
No, alhamdulillah, inshallah. Please don't put music behind these videos, please. It becomes very addicting if you put music on these videos.
No, it's not.
We see these all the time.
Yeah.
On a constant level of these kids, whether they're middle school, elementary school,
Yeah.
Muslim, Christian, Jewish.
May Allah cure our kids with this kind of addiction.
I mean, and there's a reason for it. If we become addicted, we're too busy getting our own pleasures. Where it's pleasurable to us.
That means I can fix it.
You can fix it.
Prepare yourself in 5 minutes. We're gonna finish, inshallah. If you have any question, please do be interrupt and give advice also. Jazakumullah khair, inshallah.
Yeah. One thing I told the parents this past week at the elementary school is, go in your child's social media accounts and look at their videos if they're posting any videos. What are they posting? What are your kids posting on the social media? What are they liking?
But the kids, but all the adults.
Even oh my gosh! If I tell you, I was at a janazah a couple months back, and we're at the janazah in the cemetery. His brother was watching and talking to a Muslim brother. I just subhanAllah happened to be behind him, and I looked just down because we're making dua and everything. I look at it. I look up to see his phone, and he has haram stuff on his phone, and he's liking, and I said, brother, you're in a janazah.
He's not afraid to die.
You're in a janazah. You're seeing a body going into the grave, and you're on your phone watching this stuff. Where are we now? Where as the guy is not 20 years old, he was at least, I don't know, maybe in his 50s or 60s.
That's addiction of disease.
That's not a disease at that age. Because I know if you're 50 or 60 years old, you were before internet, during internet, and now you have the internet. So you grew up like we grew up. We grew up with no internet. We know how to maintain ourselves. We know how to take it off. We know how to turn it off. We know how to do stuff. You're that addicted that you're at a janazah and the body's being lowered into the ground and you're on your phone. And my brothers were with me. I remember my cousin was with me. They said, what's wrong? I said, look, come look at this guy's phone. And they said, subhanAllah, look at this guy at a janazah watching this stuff.
They're not afraid to die.
They're not afraid to die.
They think we'll never die. That's it.
Yeah.
Wallahi, brother and sister, we're going to die, all of us. All of us are going to die.
We're going to have to answer for everything.
Anyway, it was really, brother and sister, is very important. This topic is very important. Addiction is disease. We have actually, me, myself, as I mentioned in the beginning, because what's going on in Gaza, the news, but I decide today, not too much.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Thank you, Jazakallah khair. Because I cannot change.
Yeah.
You know what's going on? Yes, people in my family got killed. The house is destroyed. Not even no food. But again and again, I cannot change.
You can't change it.
I listen, but not the way I'm doing. And inshallah, again, this advice can apply it myself, inshallah.
Sure.
And everyone can do the same thing, brother and sister. May Allah make it easy for everyone, all of us. Ameen. And may Allah guide our kids to the path. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the evil. Ameen, ya Rabbi. Ameen. So have any question, brother and sister? Otherwise, we're going to finish, inshallah. Ameen.
Sure. And
Jazakallah khair, brother. And
always.
And good to be with us, inshallah. Oh, by the way, I'm going to Malaysia.
Inshallah.
Saturday to Malaysia.
Okay.
So, and the time to here now is 9:30, and over the 9:30 a.m.
Morning.
in the morning, 12 hours exactly.
Sure.
And I'm gonna say when I come back, inshallah, we'll continue that, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So forward till Sister Layla.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Just a statement. You mentioned that the children were out on the playground. There was a group just playing, having a good time, and then 2 or 3 are sitting by themselves. It's really important that parents do encourage your children to participate, because that's the only way they're going to learn how to participate and work well with others. That is to get out there and join in. So I thought that was a very good point you made.
Or even a way to make friends, because a lot of our kids, a lot of our youth don't have friends.
Yes.
You know, they have friends online, but they don't have friends in real life.
Yes. Oh, that's very important topic here.
Yeah.
The friends also, regardless, as far as your son, your daughter live with you, you must know who the friends, your kids' friends.
Yeah.
You have to.
We give these kids our tablets and these phones. We tell them don't go in the vein with a stranger, but we give them these tablets and these phones, and we let them talk to whoever strangers they want to talk to.
Yeah. May Allah guide our kids.
I mean, there's a lot of cases where we have grown men coming to these kids' homes, getting their addresses, because kids are just given addresses. I live here. This is my address. I live with my mom. These kids tell these information, and they just come over.
Omar, do you have any comments? Omar Derimali?
No more here. Nothing.
I'm here. No, I don't, Bubba.
No advice?
No, not right now.
Okay, Sister Anisa?
That's it. I'm done.
Okay. May Allah guide us, all of us, and guide our kids, Ya Rabb. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. We'll see you inshallah not next week, the following week, inshallah, when I come back. Only 1 week.